Alright guys, I have my camera microphone off, so you should be hearing all the ambient sounds that the microphone typically filters out. We've got some lightning bug action happening. Hopefully we can catch the lightning bugs. Not catch physically, but see them on camera. Yeah, they're sparkling. And I hope that you're hearing the frogs. They're actually really loud, right? So now that the camera microphone, the noise suppression isn't on, I'm outside the pond area. So I'm kind of sandwiched between a little stand of wild growth and the pond, and the frogs are loud. So I thought as we took our little walk, I did miss the sunset because I got distracted with toads in the barn. So it's sort of already set. We're just catching the bottom ambient of the light. It's a good time for fireflies though. There's a lot of little sparklies here. A quick update on Hugo, right? Because I promised you that I'd tell you how his surgical consult went, and then I didn't tell you about it. The fireflies are awesome. They are getting caught on camera, which is great. It's not late summer firefly action yet, but we're picking up. Fireflies are getting there. So we had a Hugo surgical consult today. Now, while you're seeing this, he's actually probably going to be either under the knife already or on his way to be delivered to the surgeon. There's kind of the last remnants of the sun. And we should catch some firefly action over the meadow here. Might be too bright. The camera might be trying to adjust for the sun. Let me turn this way a hair where it's a little bit foggier and see if we can catch. Now, I can see with the naked eye, I can see fireflies, but the camera is accommodating it too much. It's trying, look how pretty that is though, with the fog rolling in. All right, so anyway, surgical consult. The surgeon was actually the surgeon who had consulted on both of his cases recently. So she was very familiar with him. And she's definitely of the belief that, surgery is the right choice. Of course, guys, just like with human surgeons, right? You get opinions, you get second opinions, and there's a predilection, of course, for a surgeon to want to do surgery. So take it with a grain of salt, but I had done all my own research. We've already talked about that, and I do believe that it's the right thing to do for our guy. She thinks he's an excellent candidate, and, her recommendation was that we do it sooner, and she suggested perhaps in 2 or 3 weeks. And I kind of said, well, he's had this episode now twice in the last 6-8 weeks. I don't know that I want to wait. This stuck barreling through. I don't know that I want to wait another 3 weeks, because what if he has another episode, right? So she kind of agreed with me in that sense. She's like, yeah, you're right. We probably are running more of a risk that way. So we are getting some pretty sunsets, or sunset, end of sunset shot. So at any rate, she took a look at the schedule, and she's like, well, I could get him in next week. And I said, okay, well, next week's better than 2 or 3 weeks. And then she continues to look at her schedule, and she's like, well, how about Thursday? And, Thursday next week? No, Thursday. I mean, remember that consult is on Tuesday. Oh, like 48 hours. She says, yeah. She goes, I can do them in the afternoon, and we have the airway specialist, the respiratory specialist, on hand anyway. Now, is that a requirement for her to do the surgery? No, of course not. I'm headed toward the woods here a little bit just to give you a different flavor for the background noises. Is it a necessity to have a specialist like that on hand for this type of surgery? No. Is it nice? Yes. So, you know, I had kind of gone into it knowing that I was going to agree to the surgery based on my research, based on his behavior, based on my touch point with my own vet. So it sort of felt like the right thing to do. So he is going to be having surgery on Thursday. You're probably going to be seeing this video on Thursday. Yeah, he will be having his surgery. It's 1 overnight stay. Oh, I hope this is catching it. I don't think it's catching these fireflies. That's a shame. It's an overnight stay. Here's Shadow the barn cat, though. The rare sighting. The camera didn't like getting that close to her. Now she's just a blob. Hold on, let me back it out. Nighttime shots are tough. These cameras are so smart, they want to adjust for the lighting and everything. But did you see that? Like, I got too close and it said, I can't adjust anymore, I don't know what's going on. So it's actually much darker out than what you're seeing because the camera is making those adjustments. But there, maybe you can now see the firefly show that's happening. This is where we took our walk the other day. So Hugo will be going under the knife. The surgery is not a difficult surgery, assuming there are no complications. It'll happen Thursday afternoon. He'll get dropped off at 7 a.m. Thursday morning for a Thursday afternoon surgery because there's a lot of prep time. They do x-rays in advance just to double check everything. They do some blood work, you know, so it's not just not like a neuter where you drop them off and an hour later they're done. He's an all-day affair. I'll get an update Thursday evening. Things are just looking so pretty. I love the evening. It's a pretty sky and it distracts me completely. So Thursday evening I'll get an update, you know, late in the day, probably like 8, 9, maybe even 10 p.m. depending on how many emergencies they have. You know, let me know that he's through surgery and everything went well and he's recovering. And then we'll be able to bring him home on Friday. And that works out really perfectly for multiple reasons. One, of course, is we'll have the weekend to baby him. And 2 is, you know, I want him home sooner rather than later, and I can make that work with the schedule. So, yes, as of this recording, which is Tuesday night, he will be going back to the hospital Thursday morning. He will spend the day at the hospital, have surgery Thursday late afternoon, like 2 or 3 p.m. I'll get some news Thursday evening, and we will go pick him up and bring him home Friday, again, assuming all is, you know, as planned. And if that's the case, then in theory, the way this works is by the end of day Sunday, he's pretty much recovered. Now they're doing both a soft palate reduction and they're going to do he's going to get a nose job. They're going to do a nostril widening procedure. That's really more of an optional procedure. It's not cosmetic, of course. But, you know, I'm like, if he's going to be under the knife and we're going to do this surgery, even though his nostrils are not teeny tiny, if we can give him a little bit more airway, why not, right? Think about if you lived your life with a stuffy nose, or when you have a stuffy nose and then it suddenly clears and you can breathe a little bit better again, right? If we can give him that option, why not? It's a couple of extra minutes under anesthesia and it's a couple of stitches. That'll be the hardest part to heal, actually, though, is to make sure he doesn't rub his face and hurt the stitches in his nose. The soft palate should really, after 48 hours, be pretty much a done deal. He shouldn't even feel it anymore, and it should just be, you know, healed and done. So it's interesting. But those are the decisions that we've made. That is the story with Mr. Hugo. He is currently standing at the barn. He's moving at his own pace at this point. He knows that it's time to come. Whoop, see, I zoomed in just past where the camera can handle the darkness. There we go. Do you see him on the driveway? He's the little blob. Oh, there's my big fat finger right above my fat finger. Now he's blurry because I put my finger there. So he's moving now. He's in the middle of the driveway. So he's moving at his pace. He's not running and getting excited. I think he's figured out that that's when he gets put on house arrest. And I'm happy that we're going to be able to get him through the surgery sooner rather than later, get him to recover, and, you know, probably by the 4th of July weekend, he'll be in, you know, again, assuming everything goes as planned, he should be pretty much back to 100%. And that's what I want, right? And then he can live out the rest of his life feeling good. He might feel better than he's ever felt before, because if he's had these breathing problems kind of underlying this whole time, his whole 9 years, and we fix it, he may be feeling better than he's ever felt before. And we may see a different dog. So that'll be kind of fun. I did mention in my last frog and toad video that the bats would come out, and the bats are out. I have a heck of a time trying to catch them on camera. They're very fast, they're small, and really all you kind of get is a streak through the sky. So you're probably just going to have to take my word for it that the bats are out, because I don't see that I'm catching anything. But we got the fireflies. So it's now after 9 p.m. and I'm going to turn into a pumpkin soon. So I'm going to leave it there. And I'll keep you updated on how Hugo does with his surgery. And I hope you enjoyed the little walk with the background noise of frogs and toads. All right, until next time, there's work to be done. Bye for now.